I sat at the dining table with tears in my eyes, looking at the beautiful view. I always wanted to be a girl from a good family, but I got married to a drug addict who never left me anywhere. Today I had become an employee, earning money by working in people's homes. She was raising him because she belonged to the village. My parents didn't educate me, and today I miss this loss very much. I felt like I was in front of the scene right now, smiling and watching, when suddenly Begum Sahib angrily smashed the glass on the ground. It broke upon impact and moved from its place. She had spoken while standing but was forbidden 1,000 times. Hey, don't be so picky with me, but you don't understand the language of respect. You are coming closer to me in front of the children, trying to touch my body. It's embarrassing. You should have said this, Begum Sahib. She walked into her room before my eyes, leaving Sahibji's face red with shame. Both of their daughters had also seen their mother with great longing. Their house was beautiful, but Begum's irritation had ruined its splendor. I would have immediately gone ahead and spoken lovingly to her little daughter. Eat, son. Why aren't you eating? The curry was immediately served in front of him. While she was smiling, she started eating. I looked at Sahibji and saw his face had fallen a little while ago. He was laughing and talking to his wife, making excuses to touch her hand. I was trying, but now I bowed my head, seemingly in a state of anxiety. I felt so bad too, shaking my head sadly. It was a shock when suddenly the gentleman moved from his place, stood up, and left the house. I looked at their backs with longing, wishing in my heart that I was his wife, that I had that much love. If I could, I would always be theirs. She lives her life in steps, but she says she always wishes she had them. She served food to both of his daughters with great love, then went back to the kitchen, washed the dishes, and started cleaning up their house. I used to leave at 11 o'clock at night because Begum Sahib didn't do any work. She used to do all the work for the money. I also met good people, except for them. I used to work in a house where there was less work, and then I headed home. Even today, I was going home. It was 11 o'clock when I left the house. Oh, sir, you were entering the house. They were shocked to see me and questioned, Neelam, you are going home right now. The tone was questioning. I nodded. He had moved and looked at them saying, Yes, sir, I was ironing your clothes. It's too late for that. If I had written in the morning, you would have been worried. They gave me a look and then suddenly spoke, Come on, I'll leave you because the night is coming. It's safe for you to go alone like this at 11 o'clock. No, I was immediately startled. And looking at them, I said, No, sir. I will leave if Begum finds out. She will be very angry after hearing what I say. He shook his head in the negative. And I was saying nothing while watching. I will take care of them, you say. They came out for me once again, opened the front door of his car, and said, Come and sit here. That's according to your profession. There were teachers and I knew that they thought about a lot of things. I bowed my head. My heart was very heavy as I sat in his car. My heart was beating fast just looking at them. A strange feeling came over me. There were many times when my heart wanted to open up my situation to you, but then I would remember my times very quickly. He used to tease his wife about them. I loved you with all my heart and soul, and I knew if I ever showed my face in front of them, even if I told you the state of my heart, you would reject me. I don't want such a rejection. They dropped me off in front of my house. It was dropped off in the car between the two of us. There was no conversation. They looked at each other. I immediately understood that he was very worried. I am suffering. As soon as the car stopped, I looked at him and spoke in a low voice. God is very kind. Pray to God. Do it and all your worries will go away. Thank you very much for saying that. I knew that she was mine. I will be drowning in the thought that why did you say that? But right now I'm in a hurry. Get well soon and go home. It was until I entered the house. They kept looking at me until it was over. I took a deep breath as I entered the house. I was sitting in the car until I was handed over. My heart was in a strange state, but now I was getting some relief. Suddenly, my eyes were on my husband sitting in front of me. I went to the one who was smoking hashish inside the house. I was shaking my head in regret. There was a man who was crazy about his wife, and I was the one whose husband was too shy to even look at me. I didn't do it. Suddenly, in my heart, physical desire was arising, but I shook my head when I saw my husband. Because it is foolish to have any hope from this person. She was a fool on the first night of our wedding. He came closer, then he approached me. I didn't even have the courage to do so. I silently had been lying in her room all day. I'm tired from work. It was a while ago that I went to the valleys of sleep. I didn't know anything the next morning. When I woke up, I quickly took a shower and got ready. It was done because I had to rush to work in the morning. I had to go, sir, as a teacher by profession. They had to leave for school early in the morning. Their children also used to go to school there. So I would reach Begum as soon as possible. Sir, I used to sleep until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's why they ordered me to come early in the morning. I had given it to my husband when he came out. I was lying down, and I had a fit of rage. He had cast a fixed gaze upon his existence and then closed the door of the house and left. After a short distance, I arrived at the gentleman's house. As soon as I entered the house, the sound of Anna's voice had begun to echo. Her daughters are up and getting ready now. She immediately came inside and went straight to the kitchen. It was done quickly, moving my hand. I started preparing breakfast for all of them, when suddenly I felt someone's touch from behind. I turned around and saw that it was Mr. I was standing there. I was very scared, and even took me 2 steps back. Seeing this, I immediately said, I am Water. I came to pick you up. When did you arrive? I was a little confused by the style because their style changed me. I felt it, but I paid more attention. I didn't give it to them. I said while looking at them, Yes, sir, I'm here for you right now. Breakfast is ready. The girls' breakfast is ready. I'm doing it. Have you seen the clothes, etc.? I kept them in the bathroom. After listening to me, they shook their heads in astonishment and then headed towards the dining table. I quickly made breakfast for them, brought it out on a tray, and placed it next to the dining table. I had just finished breakfast for them. She was looking at me questioningly. They said, You ate something. The sudden question had startled me. I looked at the gentleman in surprise. They had said again and again, Why do you look at me with such surprise? I'm asking, Did you have breakfast? I shook my head in the negative. Then he smiled faintly and looked at me. They said, Go quickly and have breakfast for the girls. Come on, then we'll all have breakfast together. This was the first time they had done such a thing to me. My heart was out of control. I bowed my head and quietly entered the kitchen. A big smile had appeared on his face. It was true that the heart of the they were very good. But I was also afraid now that if his wife woke up and they saw me sitting at the dining table, the reason will be angry and maybe I get fired from your job just like that. I drank water from their glass. They broke that glass when they took it and threatened me that if you use my home appliances, I will fire you. That I put my glass, spoon, plate in my bag. She used to bring it with her so that when she ate, no one could taunt me. But then my thought came to my mind that she was sleeping and they should get up before 2 o'clock. There is no question of that. I hurriedly quickly prepared breakfast for both girls. And then both daughters came out. They had arrived, sir, and he was also having breakfast when suddenly he turned to his eldest daughter and said, Zuni, come here and let auntie sit here. She will take me to her place. They were sitting on a chair next to each other where Begum Sahib used to be a bad person. I was so scared that I was just about to stop before that. The gentleman looked at me and said, What happened to Neelam after listening to her? My face was red. I shook my head in astonishment and then sat on a chair next to me, head bowed. My heart was pounding. I was trembling. I was even afraid. I was sitting next to them. I was feeling good too. The food was great. Sir, it was done in a pleasant atmosphere. They were making small talk with me. What will you make for lunch today? What's for dinner? And I answered the questions in a low voice. After breakfast, she stood up from their place along with them. Even the daughters of the king stood up. Now all of them had to leave for school. So I don't know why today I followed behind them all. The gentleman turned to look at me and then said to you while passing a smile, "This pink color looks great. Wear it." As soon as he said this, he moved forward. I was surprised that there was no blood in my body after I was bitten. I believe I saw their backs. I didn't expect what he would do to me right now. I had just regained consciousness after speaking. The car had left the house. I now smiled, shook my head, and moved my feet towards the dining table so that I could quickly pack up the dishes, etc. All the utensils were wrapped up, and I quickly washed the dishes and started preparing lunch around 2 o'clock. Begum Sahib had also woken up today. The intentions seemed a bit different to me. They were quite dressed and very smartly dressed. She came into the kitchen and looked at me, speaking in a commanding manner. "Your master and the girls come. Take care of them. I'll bring them. I will be a little late today. I'm leaving for urgent work." I keep saying this. She didn't just stay, she also didn't tell them where they were going. I didn't even care because I was a maid, and that Begum Sahib was my wife. It wasn't worth asking for a while. More had passed when the car stopped in the porch. There was a sound, meaning the children and the master had arrived. As soon as she reached the door, the three of them came out smiling. He went ahead and greeted them, then they greeted me with a gentle smile. I had answered. And as soon as I got home, I started calling his wife with a smile. I was very sad to see this. His wife always did that to him. He left the house before he got home from work. She would go away. And when she was tired at night, even after bringing tuition, etc., he still behaved as if she was superior to them. He's not busy, even though I knew that he is mostly with his friends. She lived and spent her time wandering around. I used to take it, but my husband didn't even have a moment to spare. I didn't do it. I went to the gentleman immediately. She had gone and looking at them had spoken. "Sir, Begum, sir," in connection with some work. They got ready and went out. "I have said that I am thinking of you and the girls. Let me go and change your clothes, etc. Until then, I will set the food on the table for you." They were surprised to hear my words. He looked at me and said helplessly, "Did they really go out today?" Hearing their words, I shook my head in emotion. The color of his face had drained from him. While watching, she said, "Why, sir, is everything okay?" I don't think it's appropriate to ask this question, but as kind as they were, I thought I was asking because humanity, even if there is a name for something, they took a look. It was poured on my body and my room. They had moved forward while their daughters were behind. "I told you today that mommy and daddy are getting married. It's my birthday and my mom went out. Let's see. Bring cake and flowers for mommy too. And I even brought a gift for mommy." I have both girls carrying their belongings in front of me. I was deeply saddened when I said that. A loving husband with a wife like that. Nawaz was given to someone who had it didn't matter. Time passed slowly. It seemed like all three of them were there all day. Begum Sahib. They were waiting for him, but he didn't come. There was no ego, nor was there any time or place. It was passing quickly, and I had to go too. It was time, but the master was looking at me. If you had spoken in a slightly worried tone, "Neelam, if you don't mind, could you spend some time with me? I can stay with my daughters. I'm going to my wife's house. Look there." I wonder why it took them so long. It's 11 o'clock at night. Girls, be young. It's dangerous to take them out like this. I am not empty of them. I am silent after listening to them. It was over and I was shaking my head in thought. You were told to leave without worrying. I have no problem if they are in my place. If it were anyone else, I would definitely refuse because it was against my principles. But it was up to me to refuse them, sir. Time passed by so quickly. It was an insult. I went to the launch with these girls. I was sitting there at 2 o'clock in the morning. The house is in a very dilapidated condition, sir. I immediately went towards them and looked at them, saying a question. What happened, sir? Is everything okay, Begum? Where are you, sir? Suddenly, after hearing my words, he immediately hugged me to his chest and started crying uncontrollably. I was stunned that they had done it. What happened to my body becoming a statue in one place? I could already feel the touch of their presence. I was really enjoying my body. I felt like I was melting away from their backs. She was tapping and saying, "Sir, what happened to them?" Tears were soaking my neck. They said, "Neelam left me and went away, chose someone else instead of me." What was I lacking in the end? I gave it to the world. Give the world the joys of working from home. Aunt's money for her children's. What else could I do to the best of my ability? I could do everything I could to keep her happy. I tried. But why did he leave me? They were crying so hard that I had no idea what to do. I don't know what feeling I had around them. They had folded their hands and consoled them while giving, she said. God is very kind. Surely seeing your love, Allah Almighty must have taken pity on you. The bad person has been expelled, sir. Take courage. The person is very kind. If he has done something, so there is some interest involved in this too. But their sobbing and crying must stop at any cost. It wasn't happening. He was away from me now. They were sitting on the ground, leaning against the wall. They looked like some kind of madman. To say that I was not a mahram for them was to say that they were mine. He was the owner and I was his servant. But they needed me at the time, and I needed them. She couldn't leave him at any cost. Looking at me, you said, "You too are your own. Be honest with your husband. He is a gambling addict. He plays and smokes marijuana, but you don't like him. If he left me, why did he leave me? I don't do anything like that. I work hard. I dedicate my day and night to teaching people. I give so that I can keep my wife happy. If I can fulfill his wishes, then why did he do that?" His tone was broken. I didn't understand what he was saying. They are talking about how they are doing. But that night, it became their support. They were close to me. We were so close that our souls had met. My heart was beating very fast. I was really scared, of course. I was thirsty for love, but I couldn't do this. I was not happy with this. Islam made me it was not allowed. But even then, I was drifting and drifting as I sat. Time had passed slowly, somewhere far away. It was over, and I had lost everything the next morning. When my eyes opened, I was in their arms. I was sleeping soundly as soon as my mind woke up, and I found myself in their shoes. When I found it in Huzar, my hair stood up. I was so shocked that I was away from them. They had also woken up, and both of us were in a state of shock. In view of that, he immediately stole a glance and quickly turned aside. I had stopped breathing. Now I am conscious. I wondered what had happened to me that night. I was so ashamed that I told myself her eyes were not meeting his, while they were as if they had done something. Maybe they had gone into the room, and I didn't immediately pick up my belongings and stay. Rather, she had already run towards her home. It had slowly passed. About 15 days later, they stood at the doorstep of my house. I didn't go back to them again. I was feeling so ashamed that I didn't have the courage to go to them again and open the door. When he opened it, he was with his 2 daughters. I was there with a beating heart. When I greeted him, he went inside the house and then, sitting in my little house, "What happened?" he said. I was stunned to hear that. They said that for what happened, I apologize. Actually, my wife ran away with a lover that night. It was very broken, and in view of the same situation, I had lost myself. But now I know I have realized my mistake. I'm sure you're not happy with your husband. That's why your life is going so badly. I have decided to marry you. I will make you divorce your husband and complete your waiting period. And then I will take my own. Listen to them and be hard on me. It was getting dark, so I was silent for a few moments. I was there, but I didn't answer. I had no such blessing as children. I didn't have any hesitation. I bowed my head and greeted them. I had informed him of my condition, that I would never, she can't even be a mother. She just has one. I was told I had a loving wife, and he needs a loving mother. Besides, I never asked you for children. I will do it, and I will never express my desire. I just hope that you will be mine, be loyal to me and my daughters. I knew that God had a plan for me too. The day will surely be kind, and this time, my God had become kind through the court. I had taken a break from my husband during the period of Iddah. It was completed in his house during that time. The person did not appear before my eyes. The girls took great care of me. After completing the month's waiting period, he married me simply, and then it happened as I thought God would. I wish you a beautiful and loving husband. He had blessed them with every desire in life. I was betrayed, and in return, I had promised their daughters to be their own. I had held her close to my chest, thinking she was my daughter. They loved me like a wife. He said that months passed, and the woman didn't give me my rights. I didn't either. I was human. Desire was born in my heart, but she refused. And the reason was that night. I found out when I went to my in-laws' house. My mother-in-law told me that your wife is no one here. We just bought it today. Arrangements had been made for that, but I called many times, but no response received from your contact. Has anyone happened? I shook my head in denial, and at that moment, my mobile rang. When I received the call, it was my wife on the other end. There was someone who was informing me about this. It was that he had left me. She has run away with her choice. And now as soon as he said he wanted a divorce, he sent me a video. It was sans, which was inappropriate. I immediately changed my eyes at that moment. He divorced his wife and left home. I needed some support at that time, and that support became you. Indeed, I made a mistake, and I am ashamed of that mistake. I tried to fix my same mistake. That's why I married you, and this is what I do to you. I have also expressed my wish that you visit my house. Make heaven. I am very happy to hear their words. I felt bad, and I promised them I was going to do as much as I could. I only made one mistake in life. I established a relationship with them that night. I apologize for what was wrong and for that. I still pray to my Lord today and hope that my Lord will surely grant me I will forgive you every day. I will teach everyone just one lesson. I want to give to someone who believes in Allah. One day, his luck will definitely change. There will definitely come a day in his life when there is no hope for Allah. That's why, friends, you should hold on to the rope. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section related to the video. Please let me know your valuable feedback, and if you like the video, please like it. To watch more such new videos as well, be sure to subscribe to this channel too. I'll take it. Thank you.